The Dvar Torah this evening will be recited by Rabbi Mordechai Abergel, the Shliach to Singapore and the senior minister to the Magen Obod Synagogue and community in Singapore. Rabbi Mordechai Abergel.
Tayr Chaverim, distinguished guests, L'chaim v'livrocha. The first time in the Torah we speak of a Shliach, an emissary of a human being sent on a mission to settle in the faraway land and build Jewish life, is right in the beginning of Parshas Vayetze. The first Shliach was Yaakov Avinu, and by appointing Yaakov as a Shliach, Yitzchak empowers him to accomplish the task by being his counterpart, Shluchim Shlodam Kamoisai. His mission is crowned with success. In this foreign environment, away from the Holy Land, he creates the first Jewish family in history. And while he is sent by Yitzchak earlier in the portion of Toldis, his actual journey and mission begins in this week's portion, Vayetze. In 1991, the Rebbe delivered a talk in connection with the Kinus HaShluchim, in which he raised a number of questions on the opening verses of our Parsha. First, why mention again that Yaakov traveled to Haran, since this is already mentioned earlier in the conclusion of Parshas Toldis? Also, why mention the fact that he came out of Beersheba, which seems inconsequential? Even more remarkable, why would Yaakov agree to go to an alien environment, a place which arouses God's anger, Haran Avshel Makim? Why go away from the warmth and holiness of his father's home? In fact, why would Yitzchak want to send him there in the first place? Here, says the Rebbe, lies the true concept of shlichus as the overall fulfillment of our destinies. A Jew can't stay forever connected in his home environment. No matter how holy and spiritual, he must go out to the world, often exposing himself to foreign influences, often having to interact with the lovins of this world, and raise a family and infuse it with the spirit of Torah and mitzvahs, all the while maintaining his spiritual integrity. He must transform the most hostile environment into a dira, a dwelling place for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How do you do this? That is why the Torah tells us that Yaakov left from Beersheba, which means he never forgot where he came from. He surrenders himself completely to the will of the Meshaleach, seeking to remain connected to him at all times, always putting his mission first before his own interests. On the other hand, the Shliach is operating on his own, applying his judgment as he sees fit. He must use his character and personality to fulfill his mission with the knowledge that he was granted all the powers and resources necessary for the fulfillment of his shlichus. In that respect, all of us, without exception, are shluchim, sent to this world to transform and elevate it, to go out and involve ourselves in every dimension of worldly experience and reveal the inner godly intent behind them. This mission, however, is not just a means to an end, but also an end in itself. Hashem promises Yaakov that he will return unharmed to his father's home. In fact, the parsha ends with the fulfillment of this promise. V'Yaakov holach ledarkei. The Rebbe explains that the shlichus itself, with all its trials and challenges, is the actual beginning to redemption and not just a process that leads to it. It's far from easy to internalize this idea. We often struggle to understand the significance of our routine, day-to-day activities, which seem at times to be so remote from the core of our shlichus. Just to illustrate, 2 months ago, I was requested to bless the Formula One race in Singapore. For those of you who don't know, that's a race that lasts for a good while, running around and around to get to the same place you start from. I'll spare you the details of how and why, but I can tell you that I was standing on the track asking myself, Rabbeinu Shalom, what does this have to do with me? And I thought that the prayer we recite upon completing a tractate of the Talmud, Anu Ratzim Vehem Ratzim. They race, and we also race. We race in our shlichus to bring Mashiach Tzidkeinu. As we come to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Kinus, Ben Shloshim L'Koyach, we are confident that we will continue from strength to strength to bring about the Rebbe's vision for a better world. I conclude with a heartfelt prayer that Hashem fulfills His promise to us. V'shafti b'sholem el beisovi, beisovinu shebashamayim, beis hamikdash hashlishi b'gula amitis v'ashleimo, al yedei Moshiach tzidkenu. Amen.